So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne from Full Speed Events. We're here in the Old Beer Cellar Studios for Thursday. So last of our DCG gang rides in Halo's October run. And of course, it's closest to Halloween. So we've got a great giveaway from Halo Wheels, and please guys, make sure you support the people who support your sport. Jump on to www.halowheels.com. If you're a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, don't forget, of course, you can go back and go on and get 20% discount at the moment on all of the goodies from them. Now, we've got a cracking route for you tonight. Russ been picking some absolute blinders, and I know what's coming up for November as well, and that is continuing. Really looking forward to those when we move on to our next beacon sponsor, which is going to be Gritty. But before all that, we've got to get round to tonight's route. Don't forget, of course, all of this is only possible. The show, the rides, Russ are doing all the organising of the routes and the planning. Of course, all that social media, all the support on the Facebook page as well as on the rides. And that's because we have members of the Supporters Club. And if you remember, you donate, we say thank you by giving you some discount codes for all of our fantastic supporters. And you can just see them up there. All those guys support, and through the course of the year of the Donny Chaingang season, you're going to find great discounts on there. So, for example, 1080 are giving extra discount on everything that they've got, and they're already amazingly cheap prices, but particularly on things like Oakley's, which, of course, are firm favourites with the gang. Gritty, big 20% discount from Gritty, and great prizes coming up in the giveaway as well. We've got Velo Skin with 20% off. Yes, there's loads of ambassadors with 10%, but we at the Donny Chaingang give you absolutely everything. We don't make a penny out of anything you buy from these guys. It's all about you getting a benefit to say thank you for donating. Don't forget, they are donations. It means that once you've donated, we can't refund it. We don't charge for the ride or for the links. They come out to you. You can always join the ride as a standard join a ride for free, and that basically means that you get all of those links, but you have to do it one day at a time, which we can't do if you're in a bit of a rush, or if you're running late, or you just want that security of being able to do it in advance with all of that advanced knowledge of where we're going, what the routes are, where the finish points are. Then in that case, join the DCG gang. Basically what it means is you donate for a month or to the end of the season, and that means we can keep on rolling. The season long price is to the end of the season, and oddly enough, as the season progresses, that price comes down, and that works its way in through to the end of April, which is when we're going to be ending our Donny Chaingangs on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Last night we had the WoW DCG and the women-only Wednesdays Donny Chaingang rolled out, and we had Alison Kinlock as our yellow beacon, who set, I understand, an early kick out from the line. We weren't able to cover it, unfortunately, because we had other commitments last night. However, there's an absolute cracker there. Thank you very much to Joanne Lee for being our red beacon, and of course to Alison Kinlock, already a podium rider at the National Cross scene. Not a regular on Zwift, but a regular WoW DCG rider, and really enjoys it. And great to have her back leading once again. And of course, we're going to be running those right the way through to the end of March. So let's head over to our maps. And I've got to say a big thank you to the team at Zwift Hacks and Zwift Insider. They give us so much information. Make sure you dive onto those websites. So if you just take a look up here, then you'll see that we have Castle to Castle as our route. And that is essentially two different circuits. It is essentially a big loop in the Neokyo area. It's a loop in the Mercury Islands area, and then basically joined up together. So we head out around Mercury Islands first, going the reverse way to the one most people would know, heading down, back along through the wetlands, coming back along the countryside sprint, and then in through the tunnels back into Neokyo, where we do the figure of 8 turn, and we go then the anti-clockwise way in and through Neokyo to come in and round. So let's take a look at that in a little bit more detail. Don't forget, of course, all of this led by Russ Downing, a former national champ, the Bear. Fonzie Downing himself leading everybody out and round. He's in charge of the pace. He will control that pace, and the aim is for it to be ramped until the point when Russ gives that go, go, go. And at that point, that is when everything will go mad. Everybody will know that there are no limits. There are no speed limits at all. It's all about having the pace and to stay with the leaders. And it's all about getting over that line first. So we have 0.8k of leading, and that is basically coming out from the pens onto the circuit proper. We then do 2 laps at 22.4 kilometers, which gives us a total distance of 46.6 kilometers to the Neo Arcade Arch. That is an arch everybody will be familiar with after riding in the Mercury Islands last week. And don't forget, of course, it is going to have a run through. We're going to have a practice run through. It's just before we go into the arcade. Now, total elevation is 278 metres, which means that if riders are getting shed, then this is the face of Mike Killingsworth. He's our red beacon tonight. Mike is better known for hanging on to the side of a sidecar and racing on circuits, everything from Donington and Cadwell right the way through to the Isle of Man. But he's also one of our regular musketeers on the Donny Chaingang, and he's going to be mopping up, running the bus at the back, and making sure everybody gets in and around. And that elevation, it's big. It's not to be sneezed at because it is a huge, huge elevation when you take into account that we have 2 very distinct parts to this circuit. You can see them up there, our Velo Viewer graphic. This is what it looks like in more detail. You can see that we have 2 key areas to this. We have our flat circuit at the top, and then we come out and round and through into the islands in towards the old temples and towers area, and that basically brings you in to the big climbs. You can see from the graphic that there's no real red sections, there's no real deep burgundy sections. It is all generally in the light yellow. There's no oranges or reds, but it goes on. It's very gradual and it will take its toll. Bearing in mind that we have 2 laps to do, this is going to be a tricky one for our group to stay together. So listening to Russ is going to be absolutely key to making sure that this is going to roll steadily. Our riders are down on the start line at the moment. You can see that there is lots of riders already on here. May well be riders in the bus. Go see that we've got Gail Phillips back on board well, and it's certainly looking like everybody is lined up and ready. A quick reminder, stay with yellow until that go, go, go. When the go, go, go hits, then it is every rider for themselves, and it is all about making sure that you get out from that pen in one piece with the group, but don't get left behind, so make sure you get out nice and smoothly. You've got some big numbers on tonight. A quick reminder, if you can see the front and the back, it means we've got less than 100 riders. If we go over that 100 rider marker, then you are not going to be able to see the front or the back simultaneously. And if that is the case, please, 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 guys, make sure you try and stay on that yellow beacon. That is going to be absolutely key tonight, particularly with that big section of the gang. Now, it looks to me like the gang are mostly going for aero bikes. There's basically one long draggy climb, and that is definitely the way I would be aiming to go. So looks like Maurizio is on here, as well as Stefano from Nonnas tonight. Great to have the guys on board. We've got Wayne Barr in here. Wayne, one of our members all the way through the winter. And don't forget, of course, part way through, we're going to be diving in, and we are going to be going for our giveaway. £200 from Halo going to be going out. You can see the number generator is up and rolling, and as well as that £175 worth of kit going out to our riders on Tuesday, which went to Tim Banks. It's going to be £200 to spend on whatever you want. You buy 200 dust caps for all it matters. It's up to you what you spend it on. If you win, one lucky winner from the members of the DCG gang, from the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and it's going to be 200 quid to work this out. So a real key thing. Make sure you join and jump on board. So we're now down into the last few seconds on the clock here. Let's jump in with our riders as they make their way off from the start line, and we're going to follow our red beacon out. It's going to be Mike Killingsworth, who is up and riding. Just taking a little look, not sure I can see the chevron up above his head. We're just going to take a little bit of a helicopter shot. I think if we can get it to roll. So let's have a little look. So Wayne Barr is one of our regular riders, and loving the fact somebody thought he was Australian. He isn't. No, he's actually a Kiwi, and lives in Scotland, regular on the national scene now. It looks like Mike has not had the red beacon attached, so this is key. This is your man. A kilted Kiwi these days, indeed, when making his way up into the gang. Looks like everybody just pushing in. Dale Williams just joining a little bit on the late side. They've got to get themselves out from the gang. So remember, Mike Killingsworth is red beacon. Looks like a little bit of a gap there. Make sure if you do join late that you get in and quickly get up to pace. And it's going to be key to jump in. Remember, it's about getting the group together around yellow, please, guys. Don't be at the front. If you're on the front, then what you're going to do is you're going to rip the gang apart from the word go. Absolutely no need. As Russ says, you always ask for a steady start. Really key that you do that, please, guys. Don't go hurtling off. So we're going to be doing the draw probably in the first 15 minutes or so. Looks like everybody who's going out of the pens is out. Mike already with Foxy, one of our regular riders here, at least generally on board the Chaingang. Good to have you here. So Foxy's with us once again, one of our regular riders on the WOW DCG and the DCG, absolute star, and looks like gone for the full DI cut disc option today on a nice aero frame, and that's going to be a real good move. At the moment, looks like there's no red beacon over Mike. However, there is a yellow over Russ. So, key guys, make sure you stay with that yellow beacon. You can just see that Mike and Fox are just making the way on. It looks like Zach Hutchison. Zach, you're either going to have to go like a rocket or rejoin, buddy. You need to be jump out and rejoin. Same for Mr. Bramham. Same for Wharfdale Field, guys. Get a late join, jump out and jump back in again. You're not going to make 45 seconds or 2 minutes. Yeah, ain't going to happen today on this circuit. So our riders out on course, and you can just see making the way in through. So we are up and riding, and Micah with Foxy at the moment. Foxy's heart rate 123 beats per minute. Just sat on the back wheel there. Mike Killingsworth as it come round that turn. And Mike dragging Foxy back into the fold. Great job done there by Mike. No surprises there. Great to have the man from Halo himself on board the gang. Josh Maitland is in the house at the moment. So Josh in with us. I'm hoping he's changed those lightweight wheels for something a little bit more aero. He's going to probably need them tonight, but Josh is in the gang and riding. Great to see he's on his way through. So let's have a look. Gang working well. Josh tucked in with the back of the group. So key is to blow up. We do have a number of riders behind. If you are more than 40 seconds and are not superhuman, you need to leave and jump back in again, guys. You're not going to make it back in. I'm just going to take a little bit of roll back through the gang. At the moment, the beacon, our red beacon, is going to be Mike Killingsworth. I think Zach Hutchinson may well make it. He's got Jeff Saysell actually in theory, but I think Jeff's going to be jumping back in again. Mr. Bramham, jump out, jump back in. You will not make the gang. I guarantee it. They are too quick. They're already out through the tunnels. So at the moment, just in with Foden, and so just at the moment, just the back of that group. Simon, give it a squeeze, mate, on those pedals. You need to be in the gang. Don't lose that wheel. It's quite, there's a lot of draft in that group at the moment. I'm not sure who's on the front playing silly whilst it's dragging it along. No, guys, ease it back off again. If you're on the front, you're in the wrong place, guys. So it looks like issues with the walk bike for Jeff at the moment. Jump out, Jeff. Jump back in again, mate. So Simon making his way back into the group. So a helicopter just overhead at the moment, just keeping an eye on the group. You can just see Russ nicely tucked in to the gang. A quick reminder, please, guys, don't push on the front. The aim is to try and sit as near to Russ as much as possible. Really key. Looks like Maurizio Mari just about to join. Maurizio, make sure you're pedaling hard when you get on, and it'll drop you into the front of the group. You need to be pedaling at about 3 watts per kilo, and it will jump you into the group with some assistance. Zach, keep on pushing, buddy. You're nearly there. Greg Buck has just dropped back for you there. So Greg and Zach on to the group. It looks like the rest are going to be late joiners. Always a little bit more entertaining when our red beacon doesn't have a beacon. So once again, for those people who maybe have missed it earlier on, our red beacon is this man, Mike Killingsworth. As we just see, I think it's going to be the first of our late joiners just jumping in, and I think Maurizio not all that far behind either, needs to jump in as late joiner. Should be dropped in there. Greg, come on, Greg, squeeze on the back, mate. You're not going to get Mr. Bramman back on again. He's hovering at 50 seconds or so. So the gang moving nicely up here, and that's what we want. The aim here, of course, is to stay around the yellow beacon. Absolutely key. Let's take a quick check. I think Josh Malin just having a little bit of a pedal on the Halo week up onto the front here. So Josh Malin, the main man at that we do with at the team at Halo. Great set of wheels. The carburetors, of course, and Devaris on Russ's road bikes, whether you're going onto the Vortexes or Chaos, similar for your mountain bike, whether you want a gravel bike. Absolutely superb stuff. They are a brilliantly engineered bit of kit and super duper tough wheels as well. So a massive thank you to Josh. He is the man who has made all that happen. Now, Matt Nunn can see the red beacon. You lucky man, because I can't. That is a good thing. If you can see the red beacon. Can anyone else see the red beacon? If you see the red beacon, that is a bonus. It's just me who can't. Quite unusual. So it looks like Zach Hutchinson just motoring his way on. Keith, I think, just deciding he's not going to be up to the pace of that group there. So Keith's first ride back, I think, after he's got COVID, so just a little bit interesting to see Mr. Bramham has pushed on here to try and jump into the gang. It's a bit like trying to get on the Chaingang several metres down. Looks like Richard's just dropping back at the moment. That's going to be tough stuff. I think Maurizio, you need to jump out and jump back in again. Somebody messaged Maurizio telling me he needs to get out and jump back in, or he's going to be in real trouble. Meanwhile, Russ just keeping that group together as he come on to the climb. Quick reminder, guys, please. The yellow beacon is 100 metres behind you. It's 100 metres too far. So our rider's just on the climb at the moment, just making the way up, taking this right-hand sweeping turn. And in fact, what we'll do, we'll be making our way around the bend. You can just see the road lit up as you make your way up around those twists and turns. A quick reminder, a quick recap for you where we stand in terms of where people are. Well, we have George Bramham just made it onto the back of the gang. That is some riding. Just have Ruddyman back on as well. We've got Mr. Brown here, John Garfer, one of our regulars on here. We've got Simon Foden in, the one and only Tom Lindley is here. Good to see that we've got Gail Phillips. Gail is our Red Beacon Supremo. Gail basically coordinates our Red Beacons for the DCG. And Gail working hard to make sure that we've got full cover for November. A massive thank you to everyone who has volunteered for that role. And thank you for getting in touch with Gail. Thank you, of course, to everybody who has got in touch with Emma. Emma, of course, is the coordinator of all things WOW DCG, picks the routes, the distances, and sorts out all of our yellow and red beacons on that as well. So please remember, guys, it does require our riders to be shepherded. That means that we need our red beacons, our yellow beacons. They are absolutely key. Now, let's just take a little bit of a look at the gang here. So Keith in here. I think somebody needs to message Maurizio if they can. We'll see if we can do that, because he's still got a little bit of time to jump out and jump back in again, but he's not going to make up 7 minutes 40 down on our leading riders, that's for sure, although he is going to be working hard. I think Keith just distanced here. We could well be seeing Maurizio. Maurizio is still on his way out of town. So we've got Tristan on board, one of our regulars as they make their way up here. So let's like the gang moving. So working very nicely indeed. You'll see the mess on board is nice and busy as well. So riders coming in through the village at the moment and working their way very nicely. Group just a little bit strung out, no surprises there as they make their way down and through. So our riders just coming in through town at the moment. On this section here, very difficult to get yourself back into the group once you are. Distance Mike doing a great job here of shepherding our riders around the back here. Foxy just hanging around the back of that group at the moment as they're trying to get themselves back into the pack. Once the gap goes, it's very hard to close that down when you're in the group. You need a real strong rider. Mike definitely is all of that. So a little bit of a fracture at the moment as they've come up over the top here, and it looks to me like this gang of 4 Mark Tickhill just behind them. Come on, Tickers, squeeze onto this. It's worth a big kick to get into the draft. It's only a few meters in front, mate. If you can get on that draft, it's going to be a massive, massive advantage to get back into the group. So Tickers at the moment in no man's land is going to need a little bit of assistance back there as the leading the group drop down. If you are solo at this stage, it's going to be very, very difficult to get back in. So this group, I think, probably going to be able to just about make contact as you go back in and through. They come into town once again. Tickets just coming in underneath the arch. The group here, well, looks like Izzy Torrey, one of the riders in the Aeonian squad, another of our regular riders on the Zwift leagues, as well as another of the fast all-conquering Aeonian squad, working well as they come in through here. So at the moment, we've got 16 minutes of riding covered. Got a few anvils going in. We've got a few people with the steamrollers going in. The group just a little fractured as it comes through. We're just going to watch them come through town. As we start to head out of town, we're probably going to jump in with our giveaways as we move along. Now, Mike Kinsworth just heading back for Tickers, which is, shows you it is going to be a busy old day for our Red Beacon. This route always a tough one to ride. It's a tough one for everybody. I think just the profile of it, it generally means that if you fight on this hill on the way up, you're going to be struggling. So Tiggers, Killingsworth, and I think Foxy potentially going to be there. Tiggers putting in a big old push here to get back into that group, riding well here as he goes over these flagstones at the side of the temples here. The leading group just about to come down to that T-junction, that fork, where you can either head straight back in or you're going to head down once again. They take the right hand foot and drop even lower down. In fact, if we get our camera up in the air, I think we can just about see the yellow beacon going in the opposite direction, one loop below. So Tickers trying to push to get back in with the 2 in front. Here we go. So here is Tickers going to make contact with Mike, and I think suspect with Foxy. So here they go, making the way in and becoming a group of 3. So the bus forming, brilliant to see. The back of the group, Wayne Barr just off the back. That's not indicative of Wayne's form. Wayne, one of our very, very fast riders on this descent now, just tucked in with him as he makes his way down these twists and turns. I get everybody dizzy watching this on the way down. So the key here is to push on. Greg Booker dropping back there for Wayne. And Greg is going to have to pick this up as we start to make our way down the side of the stream. The moon out in the Mercury Islands. That group is continuing to push on. And I think there's a few people getting caught out here by the gang as they come through. The back of the group has fractured, so I'm not sure whether Russ is going to be pulling them back together at this stage. I mean, we're only 19 minutes into the ride at the moment, so it looks like that there may have to be a bit of a regroup here. So let's just drop up the road a little bit to the back of this group. So the group just rolling its way in and along. So as the gang rolls in and through, let's see if we can just jump in with the one and only Russ Denton. Here we go. So the gang making the way in through. We're going to follow this group through on our screens whilst we jump in to our next giveaway. Now, our giveaways are for the members of the DCG gang. What is the DCG gang, I hear you ask? It's the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, of course. It's where people donate to keep the show on the road, to keep the rides rolling. Basically, if we didn't have the support of the gang, then Russ and I wouldn't be able to do this 3 times a week normally for the shows, the rides, plus, of course, all the admin, all the planning, all of the support we give the riders on the way through. And, of course, it's a great community as well. But it is made possible by the DCG gang, make no mistake about that. And they get rewards. That includes massive discounts from everybody. You see on the bottom of your screen, 1080, Continental, Velaskin, Gritty, Nonners, as well as OTE. But, of course, we also have our giveaways each month all the way through to the end of the season. In April, we've got giveaways. We've got 2 this week from Halo. So we gave away £175 worth of bib ties and long sleeve jersey. That went out to Tim Baggs. Tim will be receiving those. Email will be coming out your way either tonight or tomorrow morning, Tim, along with whoever wins this. Now, how does it work? It's real simple. We number our members from 1 to, well, however many members there are in the gang. It's really that simple. For the first month, for September, we numbered them 1 downwards. This time we've gone from the back of the alphabet and gone 1 upwards. So it basically just mixed it up. When we press the magic stop button, it will stop on a random number. Whoever's number that is who is going to win £200. You don't need to have a dodgy old Bank of England note from 1918. You can actually spend your whole 200 pounds at the www.halowheels.com website, and that is where it is going to be. So this is really key for somebody. They're going to get £200 to spend on the Halo website, courtesy of Josh Mann and all the team at Halo. It's going to be one of our riders, and I just noticed actually on this Bank of England, this 1918 £200 note, effectively to the bearer for this note. The signature doesn't half look like somebody called Halsey at the bottom of the picture and the bottom of the screen, but there you go. I don't know whether Andy has ever had anybody in the Bank of England, but there you go. So let's get the numbers stopped. Let's see which number it will be. Who will be the winner of £200 to spend at Halo? It's number 17. Quick rustling of paper because you'd know it'd be on the other sheet. And that means Rob Varty. Rob, you are our winner tonight. Rob Varty is going to take away £200 to spend at the shop at www.halowheels.com. So fantastic stuff. Well done to Mr. Varty. You get the kit, and Rob Varty, one of the regulars up at the sharp end. Nobody give him anything that makes him go any quicker. He's fast enough as it is. So Rob Varty, our winner. So Tim Baggs winning on Tuesday. Rob Varty winning tonight. Russ just dead in the water, we're hearing, on the way through. I think it's the shock. Oh, he's back up again. Probably dropped a bottle or something similar. So, just going to take a little bit of a look behind at the bus and the group here. So Mike Killingsworth, Foxy, and Tickers in here, steadily being caught by Keith Richards. I suspect will have the pass past Keith. So this group just ticking along. The bus formed at the back. So Russ is on his way back in again. He's chasing after the call of nature. So here we go. I love Simon Runnett saying he's getting old now. He is, I tell you. He is. It's all those sleepless nights. So here we go. We've chosen Worcester. Good call there. So Russ on his way back into the group at the moment. We've got our 2 winners on our Halloween giveaways this week, and that is going to be, of course, Tim Baggs and Rob Varty. Don't forget, we've got some great giveaways coming up in November. We are going to be featuring all things gritty, and got to say, a massive thank you to Neil and Caroline for the support. There is a new Gritty cat at Gritty HQ. If you haven't seen the kit pictures, give Neil, Gritty, or Caroline a follow. And a quick reminder, guys, remember, support the people who support you. Support this 20% off the Gritty kit if you're a member of the DCG gang. Amazing stuff and utterly sustainable and recyclable. It's the most environmentally kit that you can get your hands on, something that they've been able to source. And if you are a cyclocross rider, don't forget that they've actually now been able to produce what are tyre checkers. So if you're not into your cyclocross, basically there is a maximum width of 33mm tyre allowed for cyclocross at a UCI at the International Standard Races. And that means that you quite often will need a tyre checker over the top just to confirm that. The commissaire team, the race referees use them as standard. They get boring white ones issued, but Gritty are printing up. We're using recycled filament, so recycling material, and that is some amazing kit. It drops over the tyre, brilliant. They've got the accuracy in there as well, so please guys, make sure that if you need one of those, jump on and grab one from the team at Gritty, from Neil and Caroline. Don't forget, of course, Gritty and Co are going to be up at South Shields this weekend for the National Trophy Series, and lots of leagues going on as well. The league's really busy so well. And if you are making the trip, have a cracking race up there. Lots of racing going on, in fact, this weekend, because we have Road of Order as the International Cross, the first of the Super Prestige, kicking it off. And then on top of that, we also have the start of what is the cross in terms of the season for Marianne Vos. She's going to be in the women's race at Maas Mechelen. Is going to be heading out on Sunday. We're going to be covering that, as well, of course, as more of the esports, cycling, some more e-cycling sports coming out on Sunday as well. So busy in here at the group. So the group is now 100. That's a quick reminder. You can't see the front or necessarily the back. You should all be able to see the red and yellow beacon, even if we can't see them all. So our runners into town and making their way in and through the big group. So that group moving well at the moment. We're going to jump back in with the gang. No real casualties at the moment. So just making the way in and through. Bobby Mason, schoolboy hero, stopping at the wrong arch on the way through. Nobody at the moment behind Russ on the gang. Steve Wilson. Tuesday was lonely. It was crazy. It was a crazy day. Apologies, of course, for all of the sound differences that were out there. We had a multiple update and a mandatory update on some of the software that we used to broadcast. That happened in between setting it up and getting ready to run. And actually running, I was really organised, set it all up, left it rolling, and in that time it then decided it was going to do an update, which is never great fun, but all sorted by the end. It was a manic night. We had a great night last night on the WoW DCG as well, and we're looking forward to November on the WoW DCG. I'm going to be looking to see how that goes. A lot of people having a tough day on Tuesday, on the course on Tuesday. It was certainly a very, very fast section of the route, but all the way through Nyokyo's streets at the moment, though. Our riders on lap number 1. We're in with Andy Hawes at the moment, covering 17.9k, nearly 18k at the moment, and they are going to take right the way out and around. So working well. So our riders nicely looking good at the moment. The gang has started to split. Interesting to see that we've got Joe Jarvis in this group. Joe, of course, on day 3, I think, in the Big Brother household for Joe. 3 nights in a row. That's a real commitment to be riding. But lots of our riders riding regularly all the way through the winter. And great to have everybody back on to the Donny Chaingang. If you're just joining us, this is the Donny Chaingang, the one and only DCG, led by Russ Fonzie the Bear Downing, and it has its own lingo, it has its own in jokes, including "Don't poke the bear." If it's not easy, it's the Donny Chaingang. Lots of different ones on the way through. Remember, of course, what we're waiting for is to see where that trigger point is given. This is our bus at the moment, or the riders trying to make the bus roll, which is going to be Mike Killingsworth, Foxy and Tickers. Maurizio Mori not getting into the back of the group. He's just been not getting a rejoin. But the rest of the riders actually in this group, we've got Mr. Osman in here already. So good to see he's in the gang, and you can just see our helicopter just up over the top here as these riders take that right hand turn and get that helicopter back up in the air. You're going to take that left hand turn and then head back down these courses. It's a descending run down into the sprint going this way. It's actually the reverse that a lot of people are used to, and that makes it a very, very interesting run down. Remember, we are not yet at the end of lap number 1. Not yet at the end of lap number 1 with 35 minutes in at the moment. If we jump in with somebody who is been in since the start, 32 minutes in fact for our riders. So they are absolutely hurtling at the moment. And a quick reminder on that route that our riders are heading out and round. And remember, guys, if you're making your way around, if you do get dropped, grab a rider on the back, or grab a group. It makes it a lot easier. Remember, we're going to finish at 46.6. We have 0.8 of a run-in and 22.4 per lap that you can see on your screen. We've already done the section in the green section that is out on the Mercury Islands. We're making our way back through Neokyo, and when we get to that arcade, that's when you know that you're back at the end of that lap. So our riders still making the way through, still a little bit of distance to get to the Neo Arch, which is going to indicate where they are. Just in with Stefano Borelli. Stefano, where are you? Here he is. Just tucked in by Gale, actually, just making his way towards the front of that group. Good to see Stefano looking good and riding well at the moment. So just pushing his way up near the front. It's churning very well, actually, this group at the moment. That washing machine effect of riders coming onto the front and then rolling back off again. And the pack rolling nice and quickly at the moment. And you can just see everybody's legs getting warmed up, ready for that trigger point. Remember, who knows when that is going to be. It could go at any time. Russ maybe a little bit more consistent than the Wolf, which is Jimmy Allen, Russ's regular stand-in. He's definitely not a body double. He's half as tall as Russ again. As they go through. It's getting looking good at the moment. Great to see. Good to see we've got Paul Coleman in here as well. Looks like Douglas in here, Matt Ox in here, Simon Oxenham just rolling off the side of that group as they come through. The finishing point, Darryl Wills, you need to join the gang, mate. If you're a member of the DCG gang, you would know where it is. It's in your email, mate. It is if you're a member. And all jokes aside, a massive thank you to all of the members. It is really key. As you can see, Russ just pushing up the details for people in here. If you want all of the details in front, then please make sure you join. And if you are a monthly member and are a member in October and you haven't yet renewed and you plan on renewing for November, a quick reminder, guys, if you renew before the weekend, you save me, personally, an absolute shed load of time. Because we are busy, we are not going to be individually mailing out. We will be sending the routes out at the weekend on Saturday. It's going to go out. It's also going to go out on Tuesday and on Thursday next week. So if you join in between those email times, you will have to wait for the emails to come through. Please, guys, remember, don't expect to join on Monday morning and then find, oh, can I have the email now? No. You know what? You're not going to be able to get hold of me because I'm going to be on broadcast. I can't talk. So please, guys, remember, make sure that you join. If you do so, if you're planning on joining, please try and do so before the weekend. It's really important. It does save a lot of messing about. It basically means that we can go out. Chris Canham, thank you very much. You are a gent. I will love you forever. If you do it tonight, that is fantastic. Basically, get it done. Craig, you make sure you sign up Monday morning. I'll make sure your email comes out next Friday. Don't worry about it, buddy. On his way through. In fact, you could just call around the house and just ask me. Just don't do it when I'm broadcasting, buddy. Yeah, don't save me some money. It's basically what we have to do if we miss those the email times when we mass emails. Then I end up dropping it individually. I'll try and catch everybody as they join, but I just can't catch everybody. It just can't be done. Particularly when there's a lot of people just joining ad hoc on the way through, so you do have to wait to either get a batch or we've got the time to sit down and individually email them out. There will be one goes on Tuesday. That will be on a Tuesday morning. There'll be one on the weekend. And please, guys, do donate if you can. Don't skin yourself. Russ and I set this up to help everybody. It was a way that people could get together during COVID, to keep the cycling community together, to give exposure to our fast riders, our youngsters, to give that experience of riding when you couldn't meet up outdoors. Well, people are now meeting up outdoors and riding outdoors, but the Chaingang rolls on. It is here to make sure we look after our riders. And got to say a massive well done to everybody who has been looking after each other. It doesn't happen without you guys, and I know I was mentioning earlier that the gang have been watching out for each other on the way through. So that, as we just went through, was the finishing banner. It was subtle, let's say, as we came through. A quick reminder, guys, it has helped people. I mean, we were joking about Tom Lindley and sorting him out. It's sorted out people who have been down on the luck. It has looked after people with everything from turbo trainers to shoes to kit to old cycling kit. Please, guys, make sure you do help keep it all rolling. It is absolutely key. But we do need your help. Russ and I can't financially bankroll the entire Chaingang alone. We did it for a long time, and then everybody started putting in random donations, which was great. And then we formalised it because we wanted to be able to say thank you to everybody. So we have the DCG gang. It's our way of being able to look after everybody. So please, guys, make sure you do join in. You do get the links in advance. You get all those discounts from the supporters. You can see on the bottom of your screen. It is really, really key. Please, guys, make sure you do donate if you can. So, staying with Izzy Torrey in the Aeonian kit at the moment. Lots of our new riders joining in. We've got some G in here. It's going to be Chris Canham in with Finley Hudson, one of our younger riders. Speaking of younger riders, we haven't found anybody to replace the young guys. I love Dale Williams. Are we going to have enough distance to get back? We should do, yes. Russ has done the calculations. He's usually pretty accurate. So, just rolling into the back of the group. Just, I think this is going to be Ingham on the back here. So good to see we've got Kate on board. Kate, another of our newer riders, and just joining in. Remember, Kate, sit in that draft, try and make the most of that draft as long as possible. So Kate Ingham in on the Thursday gang here. Should get a little bit of draft as Andy Hawes and Russ just in front there. Tuck in, don't let that draft go. That draft is key. If you do lose a wheel, then don't forget, find a group, find a pack. As the pace gets hotter, things will get more and more frantic up on the front of the group. So just going to take a little check here. So Rob Varty in here. This is the man who's been waiting to have the chance. As you can see, a well-dressed man with a flat cap. He could buy new Halo flat cap if they did one. £200 going to Rob. Fantastic stuff, buddy, and well done on taking the win. One of the members of the DCG gang, and one of the people who keeps the show on the road. And a big thank you for your donation, Rob. And say thank you. £200 from Halo going your direction. £175 for kit going to Tim Bags. Don't forget, of course, at the end we had at the end of the last month we had OTE going out. I'm not going to list everybody because it was a lot. In fact, it's more than I've got fingers and thumbs that went out. There was a lot of kit going out, so it really was a lot of those starter packs going out. So we hit, I think it was 1 in 4 of the members received £25 of goodies from the guys at OTE. Welcome back. Don't forget, of course, still big discounts on the OTE. 20% discount off OTE, and absolutely critical stuff. Whether, like me down in the studio, you have got the hydro tubs in. We use hydro tubs in the studio quite a lot. And also tend to use them on the rise. Whether you're using an anytime protein bar, whether you're using one of the recovery drinks or one of the shakes. There are loads and loads of options out there, whatever suits you. So make sure that you go on there and grab some of that. If you're not sitting comfortably on the bike, you should be. There's no excuses. If, like me, you spend half your time having a shave in the morning because basically otherwise you end up like sandpaper, or your legs still need that aero speed of being shaved because you're spending a lot of time down the track rather than covered up, or you want to be able to put balm on without getting stuck in all your hairy legs, etc., then please make sure you get on to Velaskin. I have to say, get a brush, get some shaving cream. I was that hard, tight Yorkshireman who never spent money on it. Do you know what? What I'm up at? Because 40 plus years 35 years of shaving before I discovered the joys of a brush with some kit. So please, guys, make sure you get yourself sitting comfortably. Get the if you're an old gimmer like Russ is now, apparently, make sure you get the warming balm. It's great for dodgy old backs and joints and knees. And let's face it, Russ's knees have probably done more than most of ours in terms of pedal strokes by quite some margin. And don't forget, of course, you can pick up a Lost Kit Gritty with arm warmers or hip warmers. You've got gloves as well, new gloves heading out. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing those. Some great T-shirts as well out there. In fact, I think one of my favourite Gritty designs has been copied by All and Sundry, which is the Global Warming Strikes T-shirt, still out there, copied by loads and loads of people, and they say it is the best form of flattery. Now, we are currently at 46 minutes in. We have the group fracturing on the climb. No surprises that pressure starts to get applied on the front. We haven't had the trigger from Mr. Downing. At the moment, the group is climbing. Remember, still plenty of ascent left here because we're going to take that right-hand turn. A helicopter at the moment over our riders, and you can just see that group is starting to get thinned out as the riders continue to tick along. It's going to be a nervous few moments for some as we roll over the top just above Andy Keyworth here from the Out of the Saddle Club. So the group about to take that right-hand turn. We've got Morgan Lloyd, and thank you, Morgan, for doing that, sorting out that on email for me. Morgan and I just had to do a little conversation. It was very short, very one-sided conversation, very quick conversation. But well done, buddy. Good to see you on there. Good to see we've got Tracy on here. I think just seeing Tracy see the Terminator 2.0. Aim on getting everybody back. Hopefully call a few people in and through the line. It's virtually impossible to do that properly on the course on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll be able to call a few more riders today. It's going to depend on what happens on that run-in, because if this trigger goes very late, it could be going on a downhill section. It's going to be a downhill and a flat run in, and that is not likely to shed as many people as we saw on the way up the hill. So let's see whether it goes before the top or goes on the way up to the top, or does it go over the top and on the way down. Going to be very tough. Dale Williams saying, get this climb out of the way. No surprises there. So a number of riders pushing to get excuse me, back into the group. Josh Mayland in the pack at the moment, just squeezing on to the front. Josh, of course, on Halo wheels tonight, as you would expect. Quite a few bodies out the back of the group. Quick reminder, guys, if you have been... go, it's gone. I was going to say, if you have been distance find a group, that's going to be even more important now. So we've gone on this rise into town at 5%, the steepest section of the course. You can see we're following Josh Mayland from Halo Wheels here on the pre-Halloween episode, and you can see the number of feather flags, the number of draft power-ups that have been engaged by people coming over the top, and this is where it's so critical to stay in with the group. If we get our helicopter up, you can see it was one big blob. It's not anymore. It has become strung out. It is in pieces all over the side of the Mercury Islands course here. That leading group are breaking the pack apart. We're going to get our drone straight through somebody's house and straight onto that group if we can. It twists and turns a great deal here They will have to get up in the air a little bit higher so we don't get shadowed quite as much. As you can see, this is what is left of that initial group. Greg Booker on the front pushing on at the moment. And you can see everybody working to try and stay in the wheels. Wayne Barr right up there, as you'd expect. Somebody can ride strongly on the national mountain bike scene. Right in the mix, Craig Herring in there. Looks like Morgan Lloyd, Culshaw's in there as well. Varty in the mix. Looks like Sharp holding those wheels at the moment. But you can see the gaps are starting to open. It's starting to fracture. We're going to take our map view out a little bit. You can see we were one big blob. We're now stretched out all the way through the villages. So this is group number one. They currently have a little bit of a gap. We're going to take a little bit of a run through this group and see if we can get towards the back. I think Dale Williams in this group now, 3 seconds back. This is Vin Donahoe's group. You can see Vin on here. He's got that anvil engaged. He's leading down this chasing group at the moment. And taking a look at this, that anvil has really worked. It's helped him pull very, very close indeed. The rest of the group are fighting to stay on his wheel at the moment, but they could make contact if they push now. This is going to be key. So great tactical move there by Vin using that anvil, but he's at 7 watts per kilo. He's got to close down on this group. He can't keep that going forever. And I think the power of that pack is with him. The group behind, you can see we're distanced. This is going to be close. And how many of these riders are going to be able to make the group? That's Simon running on the front, a.k.a. Sean, a.k.a. Simon. With Keith Richardson in there. James West, Billy No Mates is a little bit further back. We're just taking a look. So Wilson at 2 seconds. So there are another group. There they go, come around that corner. So these 4 are chasing Vin. Vin is only a second in front. Vin has them coming up behind him. But all of the riders can see there's another group just behind as well. So our leading group are absolutely bombing the way down this slope here. We're going to take a little bit of a look. I think George Cooper is in that group. Now, let's take a little bit of a look back from the back of this group. Interestingly, George Cooper's the rider at the back of the group. He's one of the lightest riders. This is the leading group. Malin went well hard off the front there to try and open up the gap on everybody else. But look at the pace that is being set at the moment. They are absolutely smashing the way down here. Wayne Barr using an anvil to push himself up to the front, not having to work hard at all here because he's got himself into that group. And on those steeper sections of the descent, it really is going to help. You can just see he just keeps on rocketing up every time that gradient increases on the way down. It is so key to make sure you use them at the right time. So this is a very, very fast group at the moment. We're doing nearly 60 kilometers an hour at the moment. So now it is Oliver who's gone on to the front. He's got company there. I think that's going to be Sarah Foden who's just gone over the top here. Now, how much use is a feather now? Absolutely naff all, to be honest. There's very little use of it anywhere on the course. There are a couple of rides on the way through. So this is group number 1. If we take the camera up, we'll try and get a bit of a rough idea for you. It's going to be about 25 to 30 riders. We're going to take a little bit of a run. 28, 29 riders, I suspect, at the moment. 31st rider in that group, that's George Cooper, who's got to get himself back onto the group. So 31 riders in that leading group. If George can make contact with them, then we're going to go back to West group. So this is group number 2 on the road. Simon Runnett is going to be in this group. James West, Vin Donahoe, Keith Richardson, Billy No Mates in this group as well. Then group number 3. This is group number 3. So we have got in here. We've got in Howell. We've going to have that. It is going to be Rich Orrell. We've got Brooks in here. We've got Keyworth in this group. I think we've got Izzy Torrey in this group as well. We have. So this is currently what is the 4th group on the road. It's 3rd group because there is one other rider. So that is a fast pushing pack. The question is, can they close down on the group in front? If they do, they are going to find themselves really in the mix. There's not much difference between them. 3 seconds at the moment separate the 2 groups here. They are essentially groups 2 and 3 with a solo rider distance off the front. But this is all about having some power and pace. They've got to work together. Johnny Two Dogs in here, a very experienced rider in here. Nick McDermott is in as well. Mick Clark in here. So some very, very experienced riders. They've got to push, though. They don't want to let that gap increase. And I think that's McDermott, who is doing the hard graft at the moment. He's going to sprint across this gap. I think he was worried that they weren't going to make contact. So putting in an effort here. That momentum should see them come in together. They're still working, but they've got to get into the pack. Let's see how close he can get. As over the top comes young Holwell over the top. So this group have got to work together. You can just see the tail of the group in front just going past. Guys, come on, guys, get it together. This is the chase. If you come together, that yellow beacon group is not that far in front. Really is about having the pace and the pressure to be able to push up to our leaders. This is the leading group at the moment. They're 30 seconds off Group 2 and about 33 seconds off a Group 3 at the moment. Just watching as they make the way up. And you can just see this group still looking good. Still holding about 30 riders at the moment. A very quick night here today on the Donny Chaingang. Here comes that gang. So they are motoring the way in and through at the moment, looking like they mean business here. Let's take another quick look at the side of these riders. So the pace so quick, our camera really struggling to stay with the group. And I think just seeing Josh Mayland on the offensive again. So Josh really is ripping this up. He's gone off the front again. He has been a real thorn in the side of these riders on the front. He is on his own ride basically tonight as he makes his way through home turf for Halloween. Josh Mayland at the front of the group. 100 riders left on the ride at the moment. And he has a gap of 3 seconds. But I tell you something. Some of these youngsters have got some very wise heads on them. They're not going anywhere after him. It's supposedly a nice sort of lightweight setup on the bike. But remember, he might have changed it once he's got on the ride just to fool everybody. It has been done. So if you join the ride, and then once you're sat on the start panes, change your bike for, say, something more aero. It doesn't show up for everybody else, but it does for you. So we might be watching a non-aero bike, and he might actually be equipped with the very latest bit of kit with the new deep carbon Tavara rims on there. We'll see. So he's got the gap. Chase is on. Chase coming from Liam Callaway. Liam now working to close that gap. He went up to 7 watts per kilo. You can see him here just trying to pursue down. They hit that dirt at the moment, and this is where it pays. If you've got a steamroller, this is going to really help out here. There are also sections within the Neokyo area that it's going to make a difference as the pack chase going to come off from the dirt. No power-ups going in there. So it's Liam Callaway and Josh Mayland. They've got a 2-second lead on the riders behind. Then it's going to be Peacock and Oliver just chasing. Looks like Russ has engaged on a -1% at Anvil. It's an interesting choice at that stage. Let's go down with Russ. He's going to make the junction here. And this is going to take it into an interesting group here. And the back of the pack are struggling here. I think the pressure on the front is starting to do some damage here at the back of this pack. Just going to take a little bit of a look here. It looks to me like Matt Nunn is in trouble here. Our official lap scorer and superstar is Mr. Nunn. He has been distanced. He's on deep rims at the moment. He's had a dropout. Bad tech day. Bad tech day. Not what you need at the back of the group. So that is not good news. If in doubt, mate, hardwire everything together. Get soldering iron out. It's much easier. Put your sensor as close to your turbo as you can. Then put a hard cable between it and whatever device you're using. Makes such difference. It's crazy. And it speeds up reaction time. And it slows down the lag. And it means it's more responsive when the go happens. Really key. Giving away all the tricks here. So the riders in this leading group are now back into Neokyo. They are making the way in and through. They are coming underneath the arch when they come back the opposite direction. That will be the finish. So they'll look at the run into the finish is basically that on the way back. So they've got to come in and through. They finish at that arch behind them when they come back in the opposite direction, which is going to make it really interesting in trying to keep an eye on our riders, because the finish is going to be where we have other riders close by. So I'm going to apologise now if we jump about from rider to rider, but this is going to be one of the most tricky finishes in terms of being able to call who is where and when. Don't get, of course, the numbers on our riders on the way through, but because we're going to see our winners sprinting into that finish in the opposite direction to riders coming back out from Curians with a whole loop to do, that's going to be very entertaining indeed. Now, just taking a little bit of a check through this group, just looking to see who we've got in here. It certainly looks to me that there's a real mix in here, but we have got Fionn Gilbert in the mix here, in with our leaders here. So Fionn Gilbert of the Electric Spirit Co team in the mix and riding in with that group. So let's see whether or not she can stay in with that group who's got in to the finish. Does great riding to be in the mix at the moment. Fionn, one of our regular riders on the Chaingang, now really doing quite a few rides on the great sea and mixing it up with this leading group. She's going to take a little bit of a run back. So it looks like Matt Nunn, Vin Donahoe's group are going to catch him. So here they come. They've got the official time lap scorer in their sights. Through they go, and it looks to me like they've collected Billy Nome's in there. George Cooper is in with this group as well. Distance on that run down. So Keith Richardson leading that group away at the moment as they come in through the neon trucks. The street fair very well lit up at the moment, has come down in through, so you can just see chasing a group 41 seconds down. They have 15 seconds on this group. This is a group number 3 on the road. So Ridge Langmead's group with Ian Holwell, Joseph Forbes in there, Johnny Two Dogs at group number 3, Steve Wilson in there, Izzy Torrey. So group 3 on the road. That's our gang here. Group number 4 is going to be Rich Orrell's group. So if you're in this pack, you're currently in group 4 on the road. So if you're in the group being led through by Rich Orrell, group number 4. And that means that group number 5 is going to be run Dubash Dr. D's group. This is group 5. Group 6 is going to be Davis's group. And group 7 is going to be Bramham. So those are the groups on the road at the moment. We're going to jump back into our leaders because the one and only Mr. Mason has gone for a flyer. Whilst we were checking back with the groups, he's gone and done his classic manoeuvre and missed whether or not he ghosted that out on the way through. He has indeed, I think, so. Has Gareth had a ghost go off? Nobody's able to talk at this moment in time. He's off the front. He's got a 7-second lead. It's a long way to the finish, though, this time round. This is going to hurt if he's going to stay clear. What he's looking to do, though, is bring across a couple of riders. So Oliver is on there. The Ghost Man on Halloween is at it again. It is going to be the G-Man himself. It is the fat cyclist Gareth Mason using that. It's not often he can say he can stealthily steal his way through the midst of the rest of the riders, and it is going to be our winner of the Halo prizes on the heels of Mason. Rob Varty now leading through. Rob, of course, taking the random number generator win. So this is our leading group. Varty, the fat cyclist, it's Oliver, it's Mayland, Williams, Booker, Downey, Herring, Mulder, Dench, Oxenham. There are some big gaps starting to open up, though, behind those leading riders. Our clock says it's at to 5 seconds. I'm not sure I believe that because that would make it a lot bigger than that looks to me at the moment. Now that's saying 3, and that's much more like it as they come through. And this is not a small group. You can see we're just figuring the riders in front, but this is a huge pack of riders chasing those leaders here. This is really key. They've got to pull back the leading group, and the leading group, remember we were at about 27 riders. In this group are 7, if not 8 of them, and they've just been absorbed into the pack once again. So as you can see, this group is all back together again, and once again just starting to see a little bit of a wind up on the front here. I think that is to be Tristan on the front, who's gone rocketing straight the way through here. So Tristan enters from Chevin Cycles Trek on his way through, and looking like he didn't want to get caught out on that pack. He's going to take second on the sprint time. Some very fast sprint times there by the groups coming down Ali Sprint, but we're now in to the Castle Gardens, and this is where we have the zigzags to contend. We've got these a little bit of a climb, and this is probably the last chance for a springboard attack by anybody who fancies their chances on an uphill section. And by uphill, it's very, very minimal indeed. We're talking 1%, 2% at the moment as we rise up around in towards the central courtyard. We then drop back out again. There's hardly anything in this, and it doesn't aid a breakaway very much. The biggest thing that actually aids them is the volume of twists and turns on the way through. So we're in with the leaders here on the Donny Chaingang live, coming at you on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel, on the Full Speed Events YouTube channel, and out on the Facebook page. Our riders are moving at some serious pace at the moment, and I think we are going to see this group take it all the way to the finish. I can't see anybody being able to break clear from this. Famous last words. Then it's going to come down to who's got the time and who knows exactly where that sprint is at the moment. AD Dench just using the power of the anvil. The power of the anvil, taking him clear of Peacock, who also has the power of the anvil. On his way through, the riders using as good effect. Rob Varty not hanging around. He's gone for the aero power up instead, which is what he had at his disposal. He goes through there. Interestingly, taken out of the fastest time by Craig Herring, who set a 14.1, and Varty with a 14.1. But if Varty and Herring could go together, they have the potential to stay clear here. Remember, we have got a long run out here, and the time is ticking away, but if they can break clear, that is going to really open things up, and they are being really aggressive on the run through. So we're heading in to the back of the Neokyo circuits at the moment. Once we head out of town and we start getting on to the section with the island in the middle, the basically the Japanese temple in the center of the road, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Now, hi, Mum and Dad, says Craig Herring. Come on, mate, give it some beans. You shouldn't have the strength to type. You can't type at that pace, surely. He just knows he's about to get absorbed in by that pack. So Herring has just got clobbered, and the gang are all over him at the moment. It leaves Rob Varty on his own at the front. So Rob, the winner on the Halo Wheels giveaway today, he's showing off today to good effect. He's giving it some real big beats. And interestingly, Rob Varty in what is a red and black kit, very similar to the Halo Wheels kit here. And he heads out. So a solo leader, 4 seconds back, and the chase is coming. It's not 4 seconds, it's more like a couple, to be honest, because I think they're about to make contact. Craig Herring's legs, I think they are done. Well, one battered fish there. As we make our way up to the front, question is, who's going to take the prize at the front? Who's going to get the scraps? At the moment, Josh Mayland nicely tucked in here on the right. I think looking to maybe wind it up. Interestingly, we've got Hutchinson at the front of this group. He's gone clear now. This youngster has a real turn of speed on him. He's light. He can put out some serious watts per kilo. Craig Herring Yes, it was indeed worth a try, buddy. Definitely great to see. We love an attacking rider. And look at this. I think Zach has just shut the throttle off as he goes down here now. Remember, we are aiming for the split in the road around the temple. When we get there, we're heading into that gantry. Now, Russ goes over the top, so it's Russ who's now starting to put a little bit of pace on here, looking to open up a little bit of a lead. Our wide view on the map is opened out for a reason, because it's going to give us the most warning of where that finishing gantry is going to come. We're not all that far away, but we are far enough away that Russ has to push on here. It's not going to be long before these riders can start to see the gantry coming in the opposite direction. So here we go, Russ leading the gang. The rest of the group, though, they're all over, and they knew exactly what he was up to. He's just riding in with a Sharp at the moment. And another attack off the front, and this time round it's Mason who's gone for it again. So at the moment, Mason has gone on the attack. Now, how far out is that gantry? He's got a gap. He's put in the attack. He was known for being just a straight sprinter out of the bunch. But I tell you something, Gareth Mason is using that power and that strength to put in multiple attacks week after week and ride after ride. That's the gantry. Has he got it tied? Has he got it right? Has he got the timing right? He has. He's going to take this. It's going to be Mason. He takes it. What a ride. Another aggressive ride. It's going to be Booker who comes through immediately behind him. And you can see the gang have come absolutely hurtling through. They distanced the Matlock in the run in to the line here. He's going to see the gantry next. Well, that was indeed the finish, Dale. If ever somebody needed to be a member of the gang, it's Dale Williams. So going through there, Craig Herring goes through 42.6 on the clock for him. Dixon a little bit further back, just making his way in. Distance from that leading gang. He's just a little bit in front of a chasing pack behind. That chasing pack is the Vin Donahoe pack. It is now a hole 3. You've got to watch for the gantry. Absolutely key on the way through. So here we go. That's going to be Dick Samoure's going to be the next rider in through the line. So here we go. Dick Samoure going to be our next rider. Then going to go. It's going to be Matt Nunn. So Matt with a sprint here. He's going to sprint it in underneath the gantry here. He's being closed down by Vin Donahoe. I think he's got enough. He's got the distance. Under he goes. Then it's going to be Vin followed by West. They come in and through. We're then going to see Richardson being our next rider. I think Tickers goes in the opposite direction. He does. So Richardson, the next finisher, he comes in ahead of Clark. I love the fact that Russell decided to pop up exactly what happened, where and when. We're riding in with Terminator 2.0. That is Tracy Seeley. Our riders on that sprint for the line at the moment. Over they go. You can see that kick in over the finishing line. Catching a number of people out as go through. Izzy Torrey in that same group with Tracy Seeley there. Nick McDermott in that group as well. So just going to try and take a little bit of a run back. Simon Runnett, our next rider in to the line. He goes in ahead of Andy Keyworth. Did we get it wrong? No, you got it right. Neon Banner. Matt Nunn getting dropouts on the way through. Andy Keyworth is going to be our next rider into the finish. So Keyworth ahead of Sadler, Main and Brooks. I think there's going to be 3 riders here. This is the finish, guys. They're going to come through. Sadler, Brooks and Main in that order. Behind then, this is Chris Canham and Co. coming in for the finish. Chris knows where it is. Look at that. He engaged that sprint. He saw it. He came round the corner. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, but this is not going to go. He's always just got it. He rolled Carl Johnson, Amber and co. It's a very, very twitchy little finish. You can see Bobby Mason coming through with that gang there. Absolutely flying on his way around at the moment. It's Bobby Mason. So good riding there, Bobby. You see going in, came in with Turner and Co. A fantastic riding. Matt Crease is just ahead of Lone Rider and Co. who are coming up fast behind him. Owen Davis as well. Another fast Donny Chaingang here today. The question is, has Matt Crease got enough to hold on? You're looking for that neon banner. Has Matt Crease got the pace? He's got to keep on going. He's got to keep pushing here. He's got the gap. At the moment, Owen Davis is trying to wind it up. Gary Patterson's doing the same. Lone Rider, Steve Cannon's in there. Berrio's not all that far off the pace. Remember, this is the view the riders see. We're in with Matt Crease. Most people are rolling on key number 2. Here we go, round the corner, and all of a sudden it comes into sight. This is the banner he's going for. The gap that he's got, it's big enough, I think. He's going to make this. He's got a gap over the rest. Owen Davis sees that banner as he goes through towards the line. He's going to get robbed because Pattison is going to get it. Then it's going to be Davis, then Cannon, then Lone Rider coming through, followed by Berrio as they come in to the line there ahead of Tom Lindley and George Bramham and Stevano. Stevano, my goodness me. In the group, a man who is coming back quicker and faster now. Let's see who is going to play this for the kick. Who is going for it? It's going to be Stefano. It's going for the early one here. Bramham's gone as well, but I think it is going to be Stefano who's going to get it. Oh, it's tight on the line. It is going to be Stefano. Then it's going to be Bramham, and then Lindley going over the line behind. Then it's going to be Caldwell, so a little bit of a gap now. A quick reminder, guys. Please remember that if you join the DCG gang, you wouldn't know what the finish was till we told you. It was on email. Might have been down the bottom of the email, a bit like supermarkets putting all the milk and eggs at the back of the supermarket. We always put the details at the bottom of the email, so you have to have a read through everything, including all of the offers from our fantastic supporters who keep the gang on the road. Right, next up is going to be Caldwell. He's ahead of Coleman. So our next two riders going to come round this turn. Has Paul got the kick? He's an experienced rider. This is the gantry. This is the run for the finish. Will they take this out? The sprint is going to come from Paul here. So Paul sprinting for that line. I think he's going to get it. He does indeed. Just rolls in ahead. So Coleman comes in ahead of Caldwell. Then it's going to be a Bishop. So next rider, Jason Bishop, on his way in to the line here. Jason doing a good ride here on the Donny Chaingang, led by Russ, our red beacon. Well, that is going to be Mike Killingsworth here. He's got for company two riders. It is Foxy, aka Lisa, and also the one and only, the legendary in his own lifetime, Andy Hall's Horse Tours, the Pinarello and Assos ambassador, as well, of course, as the main man who takes everybody by the hand and leads them around the country on a merry tour, on the tour of Britain. Let's see what he thinks of the Tour de France route. Very interesting, the Tour de France route going right past an area that I spent a lot of time in, and until I'm being in there. The question is, does Halls improve the route? I hope he does. Maybe not the last transfer, because it's huge. And he, like myself, has suffered way too many long transfers in our lifetimes. So much so we don't ever want to do long transfers again, probably. So just in with Foxy, that's Lisa Chain Lights making the way around. Tickers continue to kick. So you have one more sprint left for the neon gantry. basically Foxy on the way through. We're just in with Mike Killingsworth as these riders go down. So whilst our riders continue to make their way in towards the line, we've got a few things we need to wrap up and just a few reminders. Reminder for everybody, absolutely everybody who's a member in the monthly DCG gang. If you are going to renew and you haven't renewed, please do so by the weekend. We don't stop you renewing afterwards. It just creates work. And to be honest, it's a pain in the butt. So please, join. If you're going to do it now. Do it when you finish the ride. Do it when you've got out of the shower, when you start eating your recovery food, when you're putting down that OTE recovery shake. Pop on, jump on, hit the ticket, hit the button, go, yep, I'm going to do it. I might as well do it now. It don't make any difference, let's face it. But it really is key. It does make life a lot easier for us if you do that early. Next couple of things. If you are a yearly member, guys, thank you very much if you've paid to the end of the year. If you are a monthly member and think, oh, do you know, I might as well just go to the end of the year. Anyway, we do reduce it down by the monthly price each time. So basically, if you go on now, from November to the end of the season, it's 150 quid. That takes you right to the end. That's the donation. Remember, they are donations, and it does mean that we do use it to keep the show on the road, not just to stream what you're watching now, but also, of course, to look after Russ, all the tech, all the kit. Russ and myself here from day one. We're supported by an amazing team of riders and a whole load of bodies who make it all happen behind the scenes as well. From websites to streaming to the team at Zwift to all of the guys who look after us in the ticketing. Also, of course, the team who keep the tech rolling as well. People like Tim Cooper and co. And, of course, we wouldn't be able to exist without our people who look after the rides. So Russ organises the rides, but he of course has yellow beacons to stand in the shape of James Allen, and we also of course have our red beacons as well. Don't forget, of course, we also have in the mix the WOW DCG run by Emma. Emma, of course, a regular rider, a DS as well as a coach, and of course regular leader of the WOW DCG, not running at the moment because of long COVID, but we've had some amazing guests instead riding, and a massive thank you to Sammy Stewart, to Millie Skinner, to Becky Story and Alison Killop for leading those rides. Our Red Beacons did an amazing job as well, John Lee taking that role just yesterday. Remember, they will continue all the way to the end of March is the plan, as long as people keep on wanting them. And a big thank you to Emma for doing all of the graft in the background, so not just picking the routes, sorting the distances and the beacons, but also in all of the background, because all our beacons get constantly messaged. It's just part of the deal. If you're going to be a yellow beacon, you're going to get a lot of messages, you're going to do a lot of talking, and you're going to keep everybody happy. Well, that's the plan, and there's always a question to answer, so the job doesn't tend to end the moment that the ride finishes. And of course, none of this would be possible without the support of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. So everybody, if you have donated, guys, thank you so much. It is our way of saying thank you, not just to get you the links in front of anybody else, but to get you lots of discounts and support from these guys, from Nonnas with amazing food just down in Sheffield, a home for cyclists for many years, but also, of course, for all of the people you see on your screens. And without them, we won't be able to say thank you. However, let's jump down with our riders coming in towards the finish, because it is going to be Andy Hawes, Mike Killingsworth and Foxy on the way in. I suspect we're going to see a monstrous sprint coming from Andy. He always has a good kick at the end of the ride, so Andy Hawes is going to lead them through. So Horsey goes through, then it's going to be Mike Killingsworth behind, and then it is going to be Foxy bringing the riders in and through. So well done to our riders. Rain some ride-ons down on those riders as well, riding all the way through. Don't forget, of course, we always have a warm down with the run to the banner, and that is basically to get our riders in and through, make sure everybody spins the legs off. So thank you very much for Mike for being our red beacon. Don't forget, of course, we're going to be back next week in November we have another 3 Donny Chaingang week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So Tuesday and Thursday are our open ones, which are open to men and women. Any rider, basically you need to just register. It's a secret event. That is so that we can just keep a check on the riders, and if anybody misbehaves, we can boot them out. It's really that simple. If you are registered for that, please get those registrations in. Even better, join the DCG gang. You don't need to mess about registering each time. Don't forget, we've got the WOW DCG on Wednesday as well, and then we're going to be bringing that out to you as well. We have got lots more in the pipeline. It's going to be a cracking month in November. A massive thank you to Halo, to Josh, and all of the team at Halo Wheels for looking after the members of the DCG gang. Congratulations to Tim Bags and to Rob Varty for their wins on the prize draw this week. Don't forget, you can catch up with me. I'm going to be broadcasting a couple of different programs over the course of the weekend. I'm going to be doing some esports early on Sunday, some more e-cycling coming out on Sunday, and then going to be on the UCI feed for the Cyclocross World Cup. That's coming from Mass Mechelen, a brand new course and venue, and looks a cracker. Amazing venue, and really looking forward to that, especially because nobody will have raced in quite the same way on that course as well. And of course, we also will be getting prepped. Emma's got more esports as well on the mic, and then we're into our chain gangs next week. So from Russ, from everyone on the gang, from myself, Mark Payne, have a great weekend. If we don't see you before, we'll see you next week for the Donny Chain Gang. Bye bye.